One of the great things about racing around the world is the spectacular venues, and this weekend two of the finest come together as one. Goodwood is synonymous with the English countryside, rolling hills with lovely views over the Solent towards the Isle of Wight. Here at Mainland in Jersey, it's rather more rugged, but for the first time, Goodwood are sponsoring one of their major meetings of the calendar. It's Goodwood Jersey Guineas weekend. Both Goodwood Racing and the Jersey Race Club have similar backgrounds in the sense that it was the third Duke of Richmond that started racing at Goodwood with the backing of the local militia. Things on Jersey really started after the Napoleonic Wars, when Jersey was used to resettle many of the soldiers. They brought horses with them. Hunting soon followed, as did informal races. The Jersey Race Club was formed in 1832, St Aubin being the initial racecourse, and various venues around the island have been used subsequently. More recently, red houses staged races until they moved to Mainland in 1961. Another similarity between Jersey and Goodwood is the ability to view racing from a hill. Trundle Hill, very much part of Goodwood's history, where crowds massed 30 or 40 years ago to catch a glimpse of the runners in races like the Stewards' Cup. Here at Mainland, the viewing bank provides a wonderful perspective of the course and its glorious backdrops. It may be an Englishman's home, but not even Goodwood has a castle on the racecourse. Graney Castle has been a ruin since round about the 1400s and features on the back of the Jersey 50p piece. Twice occupied by the French in the 1370s, it provides a spectacular backdrop, and at least if you're off the bridle with 5 furlongs to go and struggling, you can enjoy the view. This is one thing that Jersey has that Goodwood doesn't. Whilst Goodwood stages a jump jockey's race on the flat each year, here we have the real thing, with one hurdles race before the 4 flat contests that make up the 5-race card. These hurdles are basically plastic imitation brush, a guardrail with spruce laid along the bottom. They can take a bit of jumping, as Find the World found out at the previous meeting, coming to grief when clear at the last. Reigning champion hurdler Anfield Road is amongst the lineup for the first of our races on Goodwood Jersey Guineas Day. At 2.5 miles, Goodwood is one of the largest racecourses in the country, and Jersey contrasts pretty sharply with that. Here at Mainland, you need a nippier, handier sort of horse to compete. In terms of circumference, it's just over 1 mile round, which means you get 2 jerseys for 1 Goodwood. This is where the race really begins to develop, on the home turn with about 2.5 furlongs, 500 metres to travel. A steady climb and a relatively sharp left-hand bend. The nice views are behind us. The business end is in front of us. And as I can vouch, it finds you out if you're not at full fitness. So as heads turn for home, the run-in is just over 2 furlongs long. But despite the fact this is a sharp track, if you kicked for home too early, it can be a long way up that climb to the line. On the eve of racing, the striking St Bernard's Bay Hotel hosted a gala dinner for Goodwood and Jersey members and officials. Charlotte, Secretary of the Jersey Race Club, playing host to all these Goodwood members, and what are they going to see about Jersey racing, those that are here for the first time?
We're delighted to welcome them here to Mainland, and we're hoping that tomorrow the weather will show Jersey in its glory. It's the most beautiful place in the world when the sun's shining, with views of France and the other islands and tremendous racing.
Obviously, Jersey has quite a vibrant scene, some of it's sporting, some of it's social. How does racing sort of fit into that sort of spectrum?
In the last couple of years since I've been secretary, we've seen attendance go through the roof, people getting more involved, new owners coming onto the scene. It's been great, numbers tomorrow, should be reasonable, and it's been going from strength to strength.
One of racing's great advantages is it's a family sport, and the introduction of pony racing and getting some of the local youngsters involved has clearly been a big hit.
Yeah, it has. Last year was our first year of pony racing, and again we're doing it this year on the 20th of May. So again, it does bring all the family, up to Mainland.
Finally, obviously many Goodwood members will be experiencing racing at Jersey for the first time tomorrow. For those people watching who may be regular Jersey visitors, maybe aren't even aware that racing takes place, where can they find out a little bit more?
The best place to find out all the information you need is on our website, jerseyraceclub.com, but otherwise I'm available pretty much 24/7. Just give me a ring and I'll give you all the help you need.
Personal touch is always appreciated. We've had it right throughout Jersey. I hope tomorrow is a great success.
Thank you, and thank you for coming.
Adam, Goodwood covers some new ground by sponsoring it to Jersey. How did the association and the idea come about?
It came about through Roger Hart, who's a sort of friend of Goodwood's, who helped us out in a number of things. It was apparently at Wolverhampton racecourse and saw a runner that had come over from Jersey, got talking to the owner, and the idea was sort of born there. So Roger came over and had a word with the people at the Jersey Race Club. They were keen to do something with Goodwood, and we were equally keen, so the Goodwood Jersey Guineas was born, if you like.
How many members have you brought over for the weekend?
There's over 50 people here, so it's really well supported. The idea is that we have a day here before our season starts, and then in October, at the end of the Jersey racing season, we're putting on a day for the Jersey Race Club, and they'll be coming over to Goodwood to enjoy a day with us.
Many Goodwood members will be seeing the course for the first time tomorrow. I know you had a sneak preview today, and it was pretty spectacular.
It's, I went and walked the course this morning, and, well, as I said to the members here, we like to pride ourselves on having the most spectacular view in the world of racing, and I have to say, having seen Mainland, it runs us pretty close. The walking the course and walking the back straight there, seeing, you can see 4 or 5 islands, you can see France, it's just absolutely breathtaking, lovely.
And just finally, it's a nice add-on really for Goodwood members to get the opportunity to come to these sort of places and just generally socialise and forge new racing friendships.
Yeah, of course it is. I mean, it's great for our members because actually on this sort of do, it's great for me because I get to meet the members and I can see them sort of socially and get to know some of the members better. I think some of our members get to know each other better, and this sort of do is always great for that sort of friendship between our members, and also hopefully they get to forge some friendships with the Jersey members. It's about, I mean, for us, obviously, most of our members are members because they love racing at Goodwood and they love coming particularly for that week in July. But I think if we can do these sort of trips, and there'll be other trips we'll do, hopefully this will become an annual thing and we'll organise other trips maybe further afield. I just think if we can give them a bit better value for their membership and take them on these sort of trips that maybe they wouldn't, you wouldn't obviously be easily able to organise yourselves, if we can do that for them then and they enjoy it, fantastic.
Race day dawned with a short walk round from the racecourse to catch up with a few of those who'd be in action that afternoon. We're at the stables of champion Jersey trainer Alison Malzard. It's a really nice setup. Your stone's throw from the racecourse must be so convenient for you.
Absolutely. Race days, the horses stay in their stables, we tack up here and then we take them straight across, so there's no travelling to upset them. It's fantastic.
Jersey's horse population, we're obviously focusing on the racehorses, but you were saying that there's plenty of people that have horses on the island, and hence you can make a go of it from a business point of view.
Yes, I mean, there's a very active BSJA, pony club, riding club, dressage club. We have quite a few horses here at livery and lots of children from the pony club, and it's good.
Yes, you're driving force behind the pony club. The pony club added some races actually on the racecourse last season. That must have been great for the youngsters concerned.
The pony club have been wanting for a few years to do pony racing, and there wasn't enough support, but we finally got it going last year. And we have another race on the 20th of May this year, and I think we've got 13 runners for our 2 races, so that's good.
Excellent. And I mean, as regards to the sort of racing setup, there's several familiar names on the boxes around here, like Lang Shining, Spanish Bounty, etc. What's the ideal sort of horse, from your point of view, to be racing here in Jersey?
It varies. I mean, Lang Shining's come here. His owners live in Jersey now, and he just got a little bit fed up of racing in England, so he's come here, and we try and make racing fun for him. He goes on the beach and the sea. He doesn't particularly like galloping on the sand, but we just try and keep him happy. So sometimes you get older horses that need cheering up. Otherwise, you get younger horses that potentially are going to be superstars.
Yeah, absolutely. And the facilities here, you mentioned you utilise some of the sort of natural resources you've got, particularly, of course, the beach, which, of Red Rum fame, if you like, about how you can just rejuvenate horses who may have gone a bit stale in bigger, more sort of, larger horse environments.
The beach is fantastic. We've got a 20-minute hack down till attack. We've got a 4 furlong straight that we go up and down several times, or else we can go along all the way to Corbière, and that's about 3 miles, and we give them a long steady one occasionally just to give them a change. But I think variety is really important. I think horses over here, we try and keep it more fun for them, give them lots of variety. They get turned out in the paddocks every day. The horses here, if we buy a youngster, we want them to race for 5 or 6 years. It's not just a quick turnover. So you want to keep them keep them going for ages and keep them happy.
And just looking forward to the Goodwood sponsored Jersey Guineas later on today. Super Duper won the race last year. He's part of your challenge this time around. Would he be your #1 contender in the race?
She would be, yes. Unfortunately, she wants a bit firmer ground than we're probably going to have. So we'll see. We'll go out there and do our best.
And Spanish Bounty's come over, and the first run, I think, in Jersey, but a horse that was highly rated in the UK. Yes,
and I think he would prefer a little bit cut in the ground, so he might be the one this afternoon. We'll see. And
the challenge is about bringing jockeys over from the mainland. You're mentioning that sort of the ability to do a lightweight is particularly important to you.
Yes, I mean I have Matty Batchelor come over, so he'd ride the hurdler, and I think he can go down to about 9 stone 5. But our flat races go down to 8 stone 5. So I have Gemma Marshall and Laura Pike come in as well.
Laura, just explain a little bit about how you're riding here today. Just explain a little bit about how the association with Jersey came about.
Well, not last year, the year before. Paul Holly is friends with Joan LeBrock. And he could do only heavyweights, and Joan needed someone light to ride, and he said, like, Laura would love to come over, and he got in contact with me, and I was like, yeah, I'll come. And I came over for Joan first time, and I had 2 rides, and I rode 2 winners, so that was it, really.
Hooked. I mean, we've had a wander around Leyland. What's it like to ride?
It's quite tight, but it is a really nice track, and it's quite a stiff finish, so you need a good horse to finish up the hill, and it's quite soft, so it is quite testing.
Mm. I mean, in terms of tactics, is sort of going the shortest route important, or how do the bends sort of ride?
Yeah, we try not to get too tight on the bends, but we all sort of play it safe, you know, and we don't try and kill each other or anything like that.
I mean, it's sort of, you know, it's nice because it's a very competitive environment. You've got a ride in the Guineas today in Super Duper.
Yeah.
Horse that's won the race in the past.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's just great to say, oh yeah, I'm riding in the Guineas, and you know, it's in Jersey. It's still one of the big races, you know, and it's just good to get a good ride in it. So
and this year in particular, it's sponsored by Goodwood, the Guineas, and we've got lots of English trainers, some of whom are over here.
Yeah.
A chance for you to sort of, you know, raise your profile and put yourself in the shop window from them as well.
Yeah, and you know, I've got like 4 rides today, and in England I probably just have sort of like 1 at a meeting, but it's nice to get noticed over here, and it keeps you fit as well, and it's just really good.
Gemma, you're with a personal friend, if you like, horses that you ride during the course of the races. Who's this fella?
This is Uniform Ruby, and I believe her stable name is actually Gemma, so we get on quite well together.
You mentioned one of the features that we'll see later on this afternoon is no stalls in the flat races, so there's a little bit of an extra challenge in terms of getting horses lined up. Do you have to ride to a certain draw? Or?
Yeah, we are allocated a draw. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. We're asked to walk round in the draw. Well, even her, she's not very keen on that idea, and there is a little bit of leeway with it, but it is there.
I suppose that's, again, suits some horses, maybe have stalls issues on the mainland and vice versa.
Yes, there's a few have come out here before. Olivia Mainland bought one out last year that didn't like the stalls in England. Stephen Arthur's had a horse that didn't like the stalls in England, so they brought him out here as well. And vice versa, I rode a horse here last year, Majestical, who wouldn't jump off out here. Took him to England, and he was a horse that needed no lead because he actually ran into the stalls. It was a completely different horse. It is quite amazing how it all affects them differently.
You were also on board when Alison took one of her horses over to the mainland, and do you think there's more scope for horses that are competing out here to come and compete on the circuit in the UK?
Yes, I think they should do it more often, really, because people associate Jersey and think, oh, the racing's not a very high standard, but it is. I rode Nordic Light at Wolverhampton, he held his own and he finished second. He just bumped into one that was better handicapped, that was all. It should have been his day, really. So yeah, they can compete on a level with the horses in England, definitely.
And who are your best chances this afternoon?
I'm going to say her.
We've come inside to sort of the barn setup, and again, you know, horses looking very happy and contented. Tell me about this fella.
This is Tanikos. He's actually retired now. He used to be in training with Nicky Henderson. He's run around Cheltenham and Aintree. Again, retired to Jersey for to race and be happy. We won a few hurdle races with him, and we also ran on the flat, which I think surprised Nicky Henderson. But the trouble is, we only have one hurdle race each meeting, and 2 meetings a year are for the novices, so obviously couldn't run in those. So we ran him on the flat on those days just because, you know, they're here. We only have 9 meetings and they're going to run if they're fit and sound. And so, yeah, he won a mile 6 race. But he's retired now.
You've challenged on the Mainland, you've taken the odd horse over to Wolverhampton, but in terms of sort of economic, making that viable in its own right, is it a question of travelling backwards and forwards, or?
I don't think it's not economical from here. You wouldn't go across for one race meeting. But what we did last year, we took a horse for a month and he ran 3 times in that month. So he actually had English owners, so they were there and were able to go and watch him run. I'd be quite keen this year to go across September and take a few more because it was good fun. Yes,
absolutely. And again, I suppose it raises the profile of Jersey racing, and when some of the higher rated horses are able to compete on the Mainland. What about the reverse? I suppose in a way it's not that economically viable for people to bring horses out just to challenge for 1 or 2 races. Mainland interlopers, do they occur? They
come, and you know, traditionally when I first started racing, they'd come and clean up, but not anymore. I think there was an English winner last year. But before that, I think there'd been at least 10 years since the last English winner over here.
And is that because standards have improved here?
Definitely. We've got better racing, we've got better horses, and yeah, it's harder for them to win.
Yeah, good. Well, that shows that things are on the up here. Thanks for taking the time to show us around. It's a wonderful little setup. You say you could hardly be... How long does it take to... Physically, you do walk them round, I presume, for race day. It can be from box to course. How long on a walk?
Oh, it doesn't take long. We run out with the tack up, and it's 2 minutes to go across the racecourse, isn't it? We're really lucky.
As the time for the first race approached, we took the opportunity to catch up with a familiar face to both Goodwood and Jersey racegoers.
Lee, you're commentating here today, commentated regularly at Goodwood, 2 spectacular venues.
Spectacular in different ways, yeah. But the thing about here is that the fields are smaller naturally. I should think about 10 is as many as you're likely to see around here, which is a nice size to get stuck into. But of course it does mean that when you come here, you're not going to find the stewards going to find 30 horses charging at you. So as a commentator, you can really enjoy it from start to finish.
Particularly if you do many meetings, because it seems, you know, the horses obviously appear regularly throughout the season. It's rather a self-contained horse population.
You've got about 50 horses generally trained in Jersey. You get the occasional runner from either France or England, but generally speaking, it's a proportion of the 50 that compete against one another. And rather like 5 furlong sprint handicaps back home, they never finish in the same order.
I gather as well, we've obviously had some rain this morning, etc. There's a possibility, all the jockeys keep telling me we'll be coming stand side up the straight.
Well, that's something to look out for. It's quite a stiff finish here, really. The last 2 furlongs uphill, and it takes a bit of getting, actually, although it's generally quite a sharp course. The other thing is, of course, that because the ground here is generally on the far side of good, certainly for the last meeting when it tipped down relentlessly all day long, and today when the ground is already soft, you may find different horses are winning here, so that the ones that don't get that much of a chance normally might suddenly find, oh yeah, I'm enjoying this, so you could get some rather wild results today, I think.
Okay, let's fingers crossed we don't get any wild weather.
Wild weather, and it's always windy here, but as you can see I'm well wrapped up. That's the key thing, and it's the same for any race meeting, isn't it? Always wear 2 layers more than you thought you needed.
Absolutely, you won't need them. Excellent, have a good day today.
Cheers, Richard.
Now, few people wear as many hats as Neville here. He stands as a bookmaker, he owns a horse in the first race, but also he's a very keen historian about the history of Jersey racing. Some fantastic old memorabilia here going back to the 1920s.
Oh yes, well obviously I wasn't around in the 1920s. I first went to the Jersey races at the age of 12 at Plymouth. That was for the point-to-point. But the oldest racecourse in Jersey was Gorey. As you've seen, there's a nice painting in the weighing room over there. So it folded up at the end of the 18th century, and then we moved, the Jersey Race Club moved to Don Bridge, which was a lovely racecourse.
And that's down sort of towards St Brellards, is that right?
Yes, it was a mile around, but unfortunately, during the occupation of Jersey, the Germans used it as target practice and blew holes in it everywhere.
That was a great grandstand that was there as well.
But
yes.
we did actually race when there was holes in the stand and everything. That was in 1948, and the racecourse at Don Bridge closed in 1960 on the 4th of August. But it was a shame that the Jersey Race Club didn't buy it. The States of Jersey bought it off a chap called, I think it was Major Hewlin, but it was a shame really. You know, it was a lovely course and sheltered. You know, this is a nice course up here, but it's more exposed.
Absolutely, it's very rugged. But you were here for the first meeting? What was around about early 60s were here?
The first meeting here was in 1962.
Right.
Easter Monday. Charles Billow won the hurdle race. But in those days, the course used to run up there, all around there, right around the back, and along there. But yeah, obviously, you know, all this has been built since. But it is a nice, on a lovely day, you know, it's a lovely track. And then we also raced at Plymouth for the point-to-point, and we raced at Val de la Marbre. We've had quite a few different tracks, like, you know.
It's amazing the length of history, really. And we're looking at some of the race cards and looking at even some of the old adverts for some of the brands, etc. And the prize money. I mean, £80 to win the third race in 1928. That's pretty serious money.
Well, that was amazing. I don't know how they did it. And the admission for the tickets, sixpence. You know, a race card was only sixpence in those days.
It's amazing.
Yes.
Well, I hope you have success today as well in terms of your ownership, because you have a horse that ran in the first race last week and unfortunately tipped up in the last. Laura Pike, we've spoken to her this morning.
I'm quite hopeful. You know, we could do something today.
Well, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much indeed for bringing these, because it adds a lovely little bit of history.
Yeah, you'll have a look at all that.
Thank you very much indeed. That's lovely.
Don't run away with them.
The card featured races sponsored by Mainland trainers George Baker, Alan King, and the first hurdle race sponsored by Tim Vaughan, where Neville's Find the World was among the 4-strong field, which also featured Jersey champion hurdler Anfield Road.
And they're off. Skips over from Nordica Fair second as they head to the last. Here's Find the World. Find the World getting right into it now, cruising alongside. She got over the last hurdle right today. Asked to quicken up very late, gets past Anfield Road. Anfield Road trying to run. It's going to be the first one. Find the World, you've got half a minute to finish. That made up for last time. Find the World.
Well done, Tim. Well done,
Thank you, Neville. Well done,
Agnes. On behalf of yourself, thank you very much.
Tim Vaughan just made the presentation for the race named after your stable, Tim, and enjoying yourself in Jersey?
I am actually, yeah. It's been a very pleasant change and great facilities, great people, and yeah, thoroughly enjoyed so far.
Now, you are one of several major trainers who are sponsoring here today, largely trying to drum up interest in ownership on the mainland.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you know, at the end of the day, it's just a new marketplace, or potentially a new marketplace anyway. And I thought we'd come over and just see what's going on in this sort of country, and if we could attract a few owners back to the mainland and more predominantly Wales, then it'd be great.
And obviously, from your point of view, you're looking to improve the quality of the horses now. You've had a very, very successful season, 100 winners, but now probably just looking to try and improve the quality?
Yeah, that's exactly it. You know, thankfully we trained our 100th winner recently at the Aintree Festival before the National, and you know, things are definitely going in the right direction now, and numerically we're improving all the time, but it's just a case of upping the ante and getting the right type of calibre horse in the yard that we can compete on a Saturday afternoon and at the big festivals, you know, with some strength in depth rather than just having the odd one or two going there really, and it's definitely starting to come, but as you know, it takes time, and you know, at the stage I'm buying a lot of young horses and things, and we need them to mature, but it's going in the right direction, and hopefully a few Jersey owners might come as well.
Yeah, how's that been going? Have you managed to strong arm anyone yet?
I haven't, unfortunately. No, I've had them in headlocks, but not quite yet. No, it's going in the right direction. And again, it's not a hard sell. I'm not here for that purpose. I'm here to meet a few new people, and you know, it's a lovely environment here, and they've been very, very friendly to me, and it's just getting to know people, and if they so desire for a horse on the mainland, then hopefully they'll think of me before anyone else.
And so to the big race, the Goodwood Jersey Guineas. Amongst the 7-strong field were King Kenny, one of the highest rated horses in Jersey, who'd been twice placed in the race before, One-Eyed First Cat, formerly with Richard Hannon and still in the same ownership, and last year's winner and Laura's big race ride, Super Duper.
And they're off and racing for the Goodwood Jersey Guineas, one circuit of a course, and all the way to a nice first cat sprinting. Down the side of the back, Super Duper's coming with it too, inside the final furlong, now King Kenny inside first cat, down the middle, first cat and King Kenny, tremendous finish for the Guineas, first cat past on King Kenny inside, full turns for the judge. Now the third number 6, Super Duper, number 1, first number 3, King Kenny.
The verdict went the way of King Kenny by a head, to the delight of his owners, the Crawford family, trainer Angie Corson and jockey Matthew Lawson, with Goodwood's Brenda Hamilton and Adam Waterworth making the presentations. Adam, fantastic finish to your race, really exciting.
Yeah, it was brilliant, wasn't it? I mean, we've had a great afternoon so far. Obviously, still a couple of races to go, and it was good to have an exciting race for the Goodwood Jersey Guineas.
I mean, the scene has been spectacular. You know what it's like with the weather at Goodwood. It really makes it. How have your members enjoyed it?
Yeah, they've loved it. I mean, it stayed dry. It's a bit blustery, but it stayed dry, and I don't suppose some of our members knew really what to expect, and I'm not sure I did, if I'm honest. But I came yesterday and looked at the track, so I had a sort of sneak preview and knew what a fantastic spot it is. And literally every single one of the members has got a huge smile on their faces and are having a fantastic afternoon. So it's been a really good day.
I'm sure you spend a lot of time in meetings talking about how to, increase racing's popularity, etc. But I don't know about you, but it's been just rather refreshing to come out and just have fun.
It's great, isn't it? It's been really. It's obviously sort of, it's obviously more relaxed, if you like, than some of the race meetings you maybe go to in England, which I think is great. Everybody is, as you say, just having a really nice day. It's been great fun. Jersey, full stop, has been fantastic all weekend, and Mainland has been the sort of icing on the cake. Really, it's been a great weekend.
Roger, wonderful way to finish the day. Sun shining, everyone very, very happy. Great atmosphere.
It's been an absolutely brilliant weekend, Richard. Everyone's enjoyed it. The Goodwood members have thought it's absolutely fantastic. This is a great opportunity to showcase Jersey and all the benefits of racing here. As far as our trainer initiative has gone, absolutely fantastic. Tim Vaughan has met so many potential owners here this weekend. He's absolutely delighted. And the good news is, as far as we're concerned, Adam Waterworth has already said we're going to come back next year. Hopefully more Goodwood members will come and enjoy it, and let's hope we get the same weather next year.
I'm joined by the president of the Jersey Race Club. And Christopher, it's a fantastic setting and delighted to welcome so many people clearly intent on just having a good time here.
We're very, very lucky with this view on the course. It is one of the most staggering in the world, I think.
Fantastic. We
on the right day. Yesterday it was even more perfect than today.
We saw you walking the course yesterday. Clearly you adopt a very hands-on role to your presidency. In terms of
I like to keep in touch with Mark and see what's going on, what his problems are.
I think
we've only got 2 employees after all, so I'm on the telephone most of the time to Charlotte, and I see Mark daily with the dogs.
I mean, the actual layout of the course is lovely, but the turf itself did a fantastic job.
Mark has done a really good job in his 6 or 7 years in charge.
And that's so important to produce a racing surface that can allow your horses to perform to full potential and avoid injuries.
Yeah, we're always very pleased when English jockeys come over and say what good shape the course is in, because we have a few locals who moan.
there's always the locals who moan. From your point of view, looking forward, what are the main objectives for Jersey racing over the next few years?
To expand, get more horses, get more trainers, get more punters, get more money. I mean, more almost everything.
Yes,
and volunteers as well to help.
Yes, presumably you rely, if you like. You mentioned only a few actual full-time employees. You rely very much on the goodwill and people being involved in racing.
So many of the people working here today are doing it for love of racing and the racecourse.
You've obviously got Ali Malzahd with a very sort of progressive racing setup that we've looked around this morning. And that's excellent, and you'd just like presumably more people to
more young people. You see, Stephen Arthur, the second largest. He'll probably kill me, but I think he's been in training for 50 years or something. He's certainly been master of the drag hunt for 50 years. So he's been around.
We were amazed at the history of the Jersey Race Club as well, going back so far when racing was at Goree and others. It does have a long history.
Yes, I don't know if you've been in the weighing room. There's a little history chart there where it's moved from course to course.
And at one stage you had sort of almost 3 or 4 courses on the go. But in terms of development here, it really has stepped forward in the last few years.
Yes, this is an enormous step forward here. We used to be on scaffolding, and we still can't escape the wind when it blows. But
I think there's no chance of ever doing that really in your location. But you'd probably swap that for the backdrop you've got down the back straight.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for all your hospitality over the last couple of days.
I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope that the Goodwood visitors have enjoyed it, because, as I said last night, the purpose of the exercise is fun. If they've had fun, we've done it.
So a terrific end to the Goodwood Jersey Guineas race day. Chances from members from both Goodwood and Jersey to exchange racing stories and renew acquaintances in October, when Goodwood will be playing host to Jersey. Goodwood have already said they'll be back next year, building on the firm foundation that was built to come to Jersey and just have fun.